It happened again. 2017, there were no female Nobel Prize winners. Remember back to 2016, same thing. No female Nobel Prize winners. The feminists went nuts. Everybody went crazy, but really what they didn't know was that 10 out of the last 20 years, there have been no female Nobel Prize winners. So I did a video on this, and it's all about the reasons why men are so often at the top. There's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons, and the video is up in the corner up there. You can see a link to it, and you can have a look at that. But it basically goes over the ideas about testosterone being involved because it pushes men to strive for status. And this is extremely important when you get into the upper echelons of things. You know, if you got someone who's really striving, he's got juice inside that says do this, it gives him a better chance to win. Then it's the whole IQ thing. You know, once you get above 120 IQ, guess what happens? Lots more men. And the higher you go, the more men are there. What does it take to win a Nobel Prize? A lot of smarts. And then the whole idea about precarious manhood, you know, where the men and boys really are pushed to succeed from a very early age. And if they don't succeed, they're considered not men. Very, very unlike the women who, you know, at puberty, they're considered, oh, she's a woman now. You know, she's had her menses. It's like boys go through puberty and no, they got to prove every day that they're men. And this pushes them harder and harder. So it makes it more likely they're going to succeed. Anyway, those are the three reasons. You can see that video to have a look at that. But I'm more interested in the response that's happened since then. And, you know, of course, the expected feminist response is, oh, it's sexist. This is a big problem here, big problem there, et cetera, et cetera. But I was really fascinated to see this article in Scientific American on, once again, no female Nobel winners in science. Yeah, and I thought, daggone, they're going to finally come up with the things we've talked about, you know, the testosterone, the IQ, all these things. I thought, yes, thank goodness. And so I looked at the article, and the first paragraph told me, no, we're not going to get very far with this article, because the author talks about Hypatia. Hypatia was a very famous mathematician and philosopher. It was a woman. She was fantastic. She was far above almost everyone else alive, and she was blessed for it. She was the head of one of the most famous schools at the time. She was consulted by men and women from all over the world. People would come far and wide to be able to sit with Hypatia and give her their difficulties, and she could kind of work with them on what was happening. I mean, this was a woman who was held in great esteem and was really fantastic. She was breaking through a lot of intellectual problems that everyone had problems with before that. So this was really a fascinating woman. So this Scientific American article starts out by talking about Hypatia and then says Hypatia was murdered because she was a woman. Oh, my heart just broke. Now, there's a lot of reasons why different people think different things about Hypatia and why she was murdered. But I think the most common idea is that she was murdered because there was a three-way mess going on. The Jews, the Christians, and the pagans were all battling it out. And they all went to Hypatia for advice. All of them. The Jews, the Christians, and the pagans. Because she was so renowned and so revered in what she did. She was really a fantastic person. And think about it. You know, she had this skill and this ability. And what happened? She was blessed for it. They made her the head of the school. They came from far and wide to talk with her. She wasn't discriminated against because she was a woman. She was blessed for it. People loved that she was so bright. Anyway, so all three factions consulted with Hypatia, and one of the factions, it happened to be the Christian faction, got pissed off, and they murdered her. Now, did they murder her because she was a woman? No, they murdered her probably because they were afraid she was going to give the pagans and the Jews a better deal than they were giving her. I mean, who knows what? But the Scientific American article says they murdered her because she was a woman and because she was too smart. Ay, ay, ay. It's like people are going to read that. They're not going to know anything about Hypatia. They're just going to go, oh, yes, another example of women being shamed for being too smart. She wasn't shamed. She was fantastic, and everyone loved her for it. Well, except for her enemies who didn't love her so much, but you get the idea. So the article starts off on the wrong foot, but it gets worse. Oh, my gosh. The next paragraph, he says there's 3 reasons why women don't get Nobel Prizes. And I thought, yeah, IQ, testosterone, precarious manhood. No. He says the 3 reasons are, the first one is because women have been oppressed. I looked at that and I went, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I mean, the whole women oppressed thing is, in my opinion, the biggest lie of the 20th century. It's just unbelievably wrong. Women have never been oppressed in the United States. They've faced discrimination and hardship due to their rigid sex role, but they haven't been oppressed. And it's certainly not a reason that they didn't get Nobel Prizes. But oppression, where's the science proving there's such a thing as women having been oppressed? There's no science that points in that direction. He's pulling this out of his butt. Women are oppressed. He's going along with the cultural narrative that says, oh, women have been oppressed. Please, Scientific American, what a terrible blow that is to me. I remember Scientific American when I was a little boy. My father was a scientist and a fascinating man, but he used to get Scientific American, and I'd go and look at it every time it would come. Because those articles in Scientific American, they wrote them in just such a way so that the first paragraph and the second paragraph were pretty easy to understand, even for a little guy. And then they'd get much more complicated as you went down. But those first couple of paragraphs, you could get the gist of what was being said. I really enjoyed them. And I had a high esteem for Scientific American for being a translator of science to people. And here now they're talking about the oppression of women as being involved in Nobel Prizes. Oh boy. So the second reason they come up with is some research, which they don't give you any cite to who it was. They just say a survey that shows that, 67% of men don't believe women can become great scientists. And so this is the stereotype that holds women down. The stereotype holds women down. Oh boy. And then the third reason was the stereotype is actually believed by women. So they go along with it and they hold themselves down. They hold themselves down. So those were the 3 reasons this guy gave for women being held back and not getting Nobel Prizes. That's bizarre. I mean, I want you to think about this. In the last, from 1901 until 2017, of the Nobel Prizes in physics, 1% went to women. 1%. Sounds like a pattern. 2% for chemistry. And then it was 5% for medicine. So there's a pattern here. And the pattern maintains itself even after women have been unoppressed. Women now get more PhDs than men, I think. And they're pushed to succeed and to do well. And still, we're not getting any female Nobel Prize winners. How about that? In fact, I think it's 10 of the last 20 years, no female Nobel Prize winners. And I think out of the 74 Nobel Prizes in science in the last 10 years, 6 have gone to women. So that's 8%. So that's a little bit up from where it was before. But really, I mean, we need to love women and men for who they are. And men pay a price for striving. Men pay a price for, this success that they go after, that they get. We need to honor men for that and love them for that, rather than say, oh, they're discriminating against women. Please, we need to give women the opportunity to succeed in the same way that we give men the opportunity to succeed. That's a beautiful thing. And I think in many ways, we've gone almost overboard. We're helping women more than men. And still, they're not overwhelming things. There's been no female chess master. There's been one female Fields Medal winner in the past, ever since the Fields Medal was started. With Fields Medals the top mathematical prize. So it's kind of obvious that there's something going on here. And it's not just about oppression or stereotypes. It's something a lot deeper than that. Anyway, that's probably enough for now. Women are good. Well, let me tell you something. Men are good. Men are good, as are you. And please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and come see me on Patreon. I could use your support.